welcome back. Okay, I'm here with Annette. I think you know Annette from past programs. She's come quite often. She enjoys coming, and I enjoy having her. Okay, her English is not perfect, which means we have some work. And today we're going to work on this, during this half-hour segment, we're going to work specifically on the present perfect and on participles, past participles. A past participle is taken, written, gone, seen. There's, see, saw, seen. The present tense is every day I see, yesterday I saw, lately I've seen. Okay, Annette. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Are you ready?
Yes.
She's ready. Okay, listen. When was the last time you saw my sister?
I have never seen your sister.
Good. You've never seen my sister. All right. Ask me when the last time was I saw your sister.
When was the last time you have seen my sister? When was the last time you saw my sister?
I've never seen your sister. And when was the last time, Annette, when was the last time there were 100 people in your house?
I have never had 100 people in my house.
Okay, that's correct. Ask me when the last time was there were 100 people in my house.
When was the last time there were 100 people in your house?
There have never been 100 people in my house. Tú has dicho, I have never had. Okay, está bien. Okay, I said more impersonal, there have never been. Repeat, there have never been.
There have never been 100 people in my house.
Have there ever been 80 people in your house?
Yes, there have.
Okay, good. Has there ever been a Buddhist monk in your house?
No, there hasn't.
Has there ever been a Catholic priest in your house?
Yes, there has.
Has there ever been a military general in your house?
Yes, there has.
Has there ever been a professional dentist in your house?
Yes, there has.
Has there ever been a fire in the kitchen of your house?
Fortunately, it hasn't.
There hasn't?
There hasn't.
No me abandones la palabra there. Has there ever been an explosion in your kitchen?
No, there hasn't.
Has there ever been an explosion in my kitchen?
As I know.
As far as I know.
As far as I know, there hasn't.
Well, ask me.
Has there ever been an explosion in your kitchen?
No, there hasn't. Ask me if there has ever been a fire in my kitchen.
Has there ever been a fire in your kitchen?
No, there hasn't. Okay. Now, has there ever been a dog in your house?
No, yes, there has.
Okay. Has there ever been a cat in your house?
No, there hasn't.
Ask me if there has ever been a cat in my house.
Has there ever been a cat in your house?
Yes. Once a cat came into the house, not our cat. And my wife says, what's that? It was a big cat, okay. So yes, there has been a cat in my house. Ask me if there have ever been any Turkish people in my house.
Have there ever been any Turkey people in your...
Turkey people? Gente pava? O gente turca? Turkish.
Turkish people in your house?
No, there haven't. As far as I know, there haven't. Turkey has two meanings.
Yes.
Turkey is a country, and Turkey is an animal, pavo. Now, los turcos, o el pueblo turco is the Turkish. Un turco is a Turk. Un pavo is a turkey. Okay, the country is Turkey. The Turks live in Turkey. The Turkish people are called Turks. You understand? And they live in Turkey. And you can find turkeys in Turkey, I'm sure. I'm sure the Turks eat turkey in addition to other things, but I really don't know. Do you think the Turks eat turkey?
I think so.
Do the Germans eat turkey?
Yes, of course.
Do the Argentines eat turkey?
Oh, yeah, a lot.
A lot, really? Okay, is turkey a popular dish in Argentina?
No, it's not, but they like it.
Do you like turkey?
Yes, of course.
Ask me if I like turkey.
Do you like turkey?
Usually, I like turkey. Okay, when was the last time you read a novel in Russian?
I have never read a novel in Russian.
You've never read a novel in Russian. When was the last time you were able to find enough time to do everything you want to do?
I was never able.
¿Por qué hablas en el pasado ahora?
I have never never find time.
No.
I have never found time.
Excuse me, espera. Vamos por partes. When was the last time you were able to fly like Peter Pan?
I was never able.
¿Por qué en el pasado? Sigues viva.
I have never been able to fly like
Peter Pan.
Like Peter Pan.
Okay. You've never been able to fly.
I've-
Si yo pregunto cuándo fue la última vez que pudiste volar o sabías volar, podías volar como Peter Pan. Y claro, nunca he podido, nunca he sabido volar
yes.
así. I've never been able to fly like Peter Pan. And when was the last time you were able to lift 500 kilos?
I have never been able to lift 500 kilos.
Good. And when was the last time you were able to do everything you wanted to do?
I have never been able to find time to do what I want.
Really? Okay.
Really.
You have always had time limitations, is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
I think as many people.
Like
many people.
Like many people, time is a scarce resource. Is that correct?
Yes.
Recurso escaso. It's a scarce resource. Time. Okay. Time is very valuable. Do you agree?
Yes, I agree.
And what's more important for you, time or money?
Both.
Ask me what's more important for me.
What's most important?
More.
What's more important for you?
Time or money? Right now, time. I think in the long run, money. Of course, I need money to help achieve some of the objectives I have, professional objectives, and some personal goals or personal dreams. I need money to do them. Not too much. I don't need millions and millions. No. But I need some money. So yeah, but for me, time is more important because I wouldn't be happy with money without time.
Of course.
And it is possible to be happy when you have time and some money, okay? So time is often more important. Now, when was the last time you put your feet in a fire?
I have never had time. No.
No hablo de tiempo.
No.
When was the last time you put your feet in a fire?
I have never put my feet in a fire.
When was the last time you put your feet in boiling oil?
I have never put my feet in boiling oil.
No. All right, okay. And when was the last time the prices rose 300% in Spain?
I don't know.
Ask me.
When was the last time the prices rose 300%
In Spain.
in Spain?
As far as I know, prices have never risen 300% in 1 year in Spain. Now, in Argentina, yes.
Yes.
So it's
I think more.
3,000% perhaps.
Maybe.
Okay. Prices have never risen. I think they have in certain periods of the Spanish history, I'm sure. But since I came to Spain in 1972, prices have never risen 300% in 1 year. Really. However, if you look at the prices in Spain, you see that when I came to Spain in 1972, a metro ticket, a subway ticket cost 4 pesetas, which is basically 2.5 euros. Excuse me, 2.5 cents.
Yes.
Now the metro ticket, I think, costs 1 euro. Is that correct?
I think more.
I'm not sure. And so the inflation has been very big, of course. And but the worst year was 1977 or 1976. I think 1976. Prices rose 26%. The prices rose 26%. Ask me if the prices have ever risen more than 20% in the United States.
Have the prices ever risen more than 20%
in the
United States?
As far as I know, they haven't. But I imagine that perhaps during the Second World War, there was price inflation. But I don't know. I don't think so. Ask me if the prices have ever risen more than 10% in the United States.
Have the prices ever risen more than 10% in the United States?
Yes, they have. Ask me when they rose more than 10%.
When did they rise more than 10%?
During the Carter administration, Jimmy Carter's administration, the prices in the United States rose around 13% during 1 or 2 years, okay? Ask me how long Jimmy Carter was the president of the United States.
How long was Jimmy Carter the president?
For 4 years. Ask me when he won election.
When did he win the election?
He won the election in November 1976. Ask me who he was running against.
Who was he running against?
¿Contra quién se presentaba la elección? To run, como correr se usa, to run for election. He was running against Gerald Ford. Ask me if he won by a big margin.
Did he win by a big margin?
No, he didn't. He won by a very, very small. Se dice muchas veces slim, como esbelto, de figura. He won by a very slim margin. And ask me if he won the next election too.
Did he win the next election too?
No, he didn't. Ask you when the next election was.
When was the next election?
It was in November 1980, 4 years later. Ask me who he ran against.
Who did he run against?
He ran against Ronald Reagan. Ask me if Reagan won by a big majority.
Did Reagan?
Reagan, se dice.
Did Reagan win by the next election?
Ask me if Reagan won by a big majority.
Did Reagan win by a big majority?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. About 10 percentage points. It was quite clear. Reagan. Aquí a veces se dice Reagan, pero es Reagan. Okay, Reagan. Okay, so ask me if I knew Jimmy Carter at that time.
Did you knew Jimmy Carter at that time?
¿Puedes repetirlo?
Did you know Jimmy Carter at that time?
Personally, no. Ask me if I have ever met him.
Have you ever met him?
No, I haven't. Ask me if I have ever met a president of the United States.
Have you ever met a president of the United States?
No, I haven't. Ask me how many presidents have been in the White House in my lifetime.
How many presidents have there been in the White House in your lifetime?
Good question. Ask me who was the president of the United States when I was born.
Who was the president of the United States when you were born?
Good, when you were born.
When you were
Harry
born.
Truman was the president when I was born. And ask me how much longer he stayed in the White House.
How much longer did he stay in the White House?
Just for 1 more year after that. Ask me who became president after Truman.
Who became president after Truman?
Eisenhower. Ask me how long Eisenhower was in office.
How long was Eisenhower in office?
He was in office for 8 years. Okay. Ask me who took over for. ¿Quién asumió el mando después? Ask me who took over, to take over. Ask me who took over for Eisenhower.
Who took over for Eisenhower?
Kennedy did, John Kennedy. Ask me if Kennedy was from the same party as Eisenhower.
Was Kennedy from the same party as Eisenhower?
No, he wasn't. Ask me if Kennedy was a Democrat.
Was Kennedy a Democrat?
Yes, he was. Ask me if he won the election by a big margin.
Did he win the election by a big margin?
No, he didn't. It was very close. Incredible. It was one of the closest races, carreras electorales we say, one of the closest races in history. Okay. Ask me who took over for Kennedy.
Who took over for Kennedy?
Lyndon Johnson. Okay. And ask me how long Johnson was the president.
How long was Johnson the president?
He was the president for 5 years. The last year and a half, 5.5, the last year and a half of Kennedy's administration after the assassination, plus 1 more term, mandato, no se dice mandate. En inglés no se dice mandate. Mandate existe, escrito mandate, pero tiene otro significado. I'm not going to talk about today. The term, término. Term is el mandato, el tiempo, duración de un encargo presidencial en este caso. His term, he finished Kennedy's term as vice taking over, and then he served 1 more term. Okay. Ask me why he didn't run for president again.
Why didn't he run for president again?
Because he thought he would lose. And the doctor told him he shouldn't do it. Medical reasons and I think political reasons as well. Ask me who became the president after Johnson.
Who became the president after Johnson?
Richard Nixon. Ask me if Richard Nixon had a lot of problems during his term.
Did Richard Nixon have a lot of problems during his term?
Well, during the first term, not any special problems. He had the typical problems of a president, of course, with especially international affairs, foreign affairs, with the Russians and the Chinese. But he had a lot of problems in his second term. Ask me when he was reelected.
When was he reelected?
He was reelected in November 1972. Okay. And ask me if Watergate had already started when he was reelected.
Had Watergate already started when he was? When he was president?
When he was reelected?
When he was reelected?
Not really. Not really. The real beginning was after he was reelected. Ask me if he was reelected by a big margin.
Was he reelected by a big margin?
Incredibly big margin. Yeah. Ask me how many states voted for him.
How many states voted for him?
49. In the Electoral College, 49 states for Nixon, 1 state for McGovern. Okay, so it was a landslide. Landslide is corrimiento de tierra. Pero si dices victoria por corrimiento de tierra, es victoria aplastante. It was a landslide victory. And ask me how long he stayed in office.
How long did he stay in office?
For only 2 years. Ask me what happened to him.
What happened to him?
He resigned. Ask me why.
Why did he resign?
Because he was going to be impeached. He was going to be expelled from office by the Congress of the United States, so he decided to resign first. Ask me who took over for him.
Who took
over?
Who took over for him?
Gerald Ford. Okay. And ask me, so we're counting the presidents since I was born. So repeat the question. Ask me how many presidents there have been since I was born.
How many presidents have there been since you were born?
Very good. Well, I don't know. Let's count them. Truman, Eisenhower, Kennedy, Johnson, Nixon, Ford, Carter, Reagan, George Bush father, Bill Clinton, that's 10. Bill Clinton. George Bush Jr., 11. There have been 11 presidents of the United States since I was born. All right? And I think our friend in Cuba, Mr. Castro, has seen 9 or 10 of them. 10? No, casi 10 of them. Because Fidel Castro didn't know Truman. But Fidel Castro, ask me who was the president of the United States when Fidel Castro took over in Cuba.
Who was the president of the United States when Castro
took over? Asumió el poder. To take over. También es un derrocamiento, take over. When Castro overthrew, eso sí es derrocar. To overthrow. When Castro overthrew the Batista regime, Dwight Eisenhower was the president of the United States. Ask me who the president was when Armstrong walked on the moon.
Who was the president when Armstrong walked on the moon?
Richard Nixon was the president when Armstrong walked on the moon. Ask me who was the president when I came to Spain.
Who was the president when you came to Spain?
Richard Nixon. When I came to Spain the first time, Richard Nixon, and the second, Richard Nixon was the president. Ask me who the president was when I got married.
Who was the president when you got married?
Jimmy Carter was the president of the United States when I got married. Ask me who the president of Spain was when I got married.
Who was the president of Spain when you got married?
Adolfo Suarez was the president of Spain when I got married. Ask me who the president of Spain was when my daughter was born.
Who was the president of Spain when your daughter was born?
Good. Adolfo Suarez was the president still. He was still the president. Ask me who the president of the United States was when my daughter was born.
Who was the president of the United States when your daughter was born?
Jimmy Carter. Yes. My daughter was born in July of 1980, and the elections elections between Carter and Reagan was in November 1980, several months later. And then Reagan became the president in on January the 20th, 1981. Ask me who the president of Spain was when I met you.
Who was the president of Spain when you met me?
Mr. Zapatero was the president of Spain because I met you last year, I believe.
In March.
In March of last year. So how long have we known each other?
Quite a year.
How long? Quiero frase completa. How long? Quite no sería almost. No quite. Casi is almost. How long have we known each other?
We have known each other for almost 1 year.
Okay. Ask me when I made this method.
When did you make that method?
I made this method in 1994. So how long have I been using this method?
You have been using this method, that method, for 14 years.
Good. Ask me when I gave my first class on television.
When did you give your first class on television?
I gave my first class on television in 2005. So, how long have I been teaching on TV?
You have been teaching on TV for 2 years.
Good. 3 years, almost. No, 3 years.
3 years, yeah. Of course.
Almost 4.
Almost
4. Okay. Now, when was the last time you said something offensive to me?
I have never said anything offensive to you.
No?
No.
Okay. And when was
as far as I can remember, I haven't.
All right. Ask me if you have ever said anything offensive to me.
Have I ever
said
something offensive?
¿Por qué something? Es pregunta.
Have I ever said anything offensive to you?
Anything. Yeah, no, you haven't. As far as I can remember, no. And if you had said something offensive, I would remember. Okay. You usually don't forget offenses. Now, ask me when the last time was I sat down on a chocolate cake.
When was the last time you sat on a chocolate cake?
I have never sat or sat down, those bagan, on a chocolate cake. Have you ever sat down on a chocolate cake?
No, I have never sat on a chocolate cake.
Ask me when the last time was I ran over a cake.
When was the last time you ran over a cake?
The last time I ran over a cake was about 15 years ago. What does run over mean?
To pisar.
Not pisar de qué forma?
Con el coche.
Con el coche, atropellar.
Atropellar.
Yes, pasar por encima.
But atropellar is for a person.
Okay, pues pasar por encima.
Yes.
Con la rueda del coche. Yes, I ran over a cake one time. Ask me where it happened.
Where did it happen?
It happened in Madrid on the Castellana. Ask me where I was going.
Where were you going?
I don't remember. Ask me why there was a cake in the middle of the street.
Why was there a cake in the middle of the street?
Because ahead of me, about 40 meters, there was a man with a motorcycle or a motor scooter with a cake, carrying a cake. He was a messenger. And the cake fell off. Ask me why the cake fell off the motorcycle.
Why did the cake fall off the motorcycle?
Good, una vez más.
Why did the cake fall off the motorcycle?
I don't know. Ask me if I tried to avoid the cake.
Did you try to avoid the cake?
Yes, I did. But I couldn't. I ran over the cake. All right? Ask me if I stopped the car.
Did you stop the car?
No, I didn't. I kept driving. Ask me if the man stopped the motorcycle.
Did the man stop the motorcycle?
Yes, he did. All right. Ask me what happened after that.
What happened after that?
I don't know.
Poor man.
I suppose, well, poor man, he needs to control the cake better. It scared me because I was not paying direct attention to the motorcycle. I was driving, paying general attention, and suddenly there's a cake in front of my car. So it was dangerous for me, more dangerous for me than for him. Okay. Running over cakes. Probably I will never run over a cake again. It has happened only once in my life. All right. It's been fun. Ha sido divertido. It's been fun. Your English is getting better. You're improving.
Thank you.
Her English is getting better. Her English is improving. It's getting better. Okay, and I'll invite her back to another class very soon. And I'll see you again in about 5 minutes.